What up YouTube, Art here again with another Warzone audio video, but today's audio video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about audio hardware, what my gold standard currently is that I build all of the audio tunes on. In the last couple months, I've been testing a ton of different headset and IEM options. I have literal piles here in my presence, and I've been testing to see what is the most clear, what sounds the best for everyday use, and what is the best bang for your buck. Special shout out to Fresh Reviews. I'll link his channel below. He does a bunch of reviews on different gaming hardware like mice, keyboards, mouse pads, and IEMs and headphones. He inspired me to start looking into headphones for COD, so special shout out to him. The earbuds, or IEMs, in-ear monitors, that I'm wearing are called the Kiwi Ears Orchestra Lites. Now, if you're not familiar with in-ear monitors are typically used by musicians on stage to monitor the mix of a live performance and hear themselves back in their headset. They create a seal and they act almost like earplugs in your ears so that you can't really hear the outside world, and that isolation leads to an increase in fidelity and a kind of closeness in sound. Orchestra Lites are made of resin, so the body of the IEM is one full piece of resin, so they're very, very resilient. Unfortunately, I've dropped these a bunch of times, and nothing bad has happened to them yet. Now, IEMs can be made with different types of drivers. The Zeros, which I still recommend to most people for 50 bucks because they are so hard to beat, are composed of two dynamic drivers. I have an old video on the channel linked down below about those. Dynamic drivers are what you think of when you think of a speaker. It's a diaphragm with a magnet in the base that pushes the membrane back and forth and creates sound. Another very common type of driver featured in IEMs are BA, or balanced armature. Balanced armature drivers are typically found in hearing aids, and they're a small metal box with a mechanism inside that moves back and forth to create the sound. Because of their size, they are able to reproduce sounds very quickly and sharply, although they can lead to like a tinny sound in the overall tuning of the IEM. In the case of the Orchestra Lites, they are comprised of 8 balanced armatures. Each earbud has 8 individual balanced armature drivers inside of it. They are wired together with crossovers, which are used to limit which frequency of sounds go to each of these individual 8 balanced armature drivers. So the way these have been designed, 2 of these balanced armatures are assigned to the bass tones, or the low end. So all the rumble, the bass in songs, the bass end of explosions in game, those kind of sounds. The next 4 are wired in to only reproduce the mid-range of sounds, so the human voice, or footsteps on sand, or the big body of gunshots. The final 2 of the 8 balanced armature drivers inside each bud are designed to only reproduce the high-end frequencies, or like the crisp of my voice, cymbals in a song, or the crack of gunshots in-game. This, in my opinion, is what really makes the Orchestra Lites shine. Compared to all of the other earbuds that I've tried, nothing comes close to the resolution of these, and that's something really important I want to talk about in terms of earbuds. You can look at curves on paper all day, and it will tell you a lot about the kind of tone production that they are capable of, right? So you can see, oh, this headset is very bassy, or oh, this headset has a lot of treble. You can clearly see that on these curves. The left side of the curve, as you're looking at it, is the bass, and the right side of the curve or chart is the high end, or the treble. Again, the cymbals and stuff in songs. That tells you a lot, like I said, about the tone of the headphones or the IEM. You can tell if it's bassy or if it's trebly. What you can't really see on paper is the resolution, detail, or imaging. So when I say resolution or detail, I mean the ability to pick out individual sounds inside of the mix. So when there's a big explosion going on, can you still hear the detail of the gunshots? Or if there's somebody yelling in your ear in Discord, can you still hear the rumble of the map or the song that you're listening to? When you're talking about single driver earbuds, which are a lot of the generic consumer earbuds that you choose in the store, or if you're talking about the dual driver earbuds like the Truthear Zeros that I've recommended in a past video, those are both diaphragm-based drivers. So again, it's a cone with a magnet that pushes that diaphragm back and forth and creates sound. I personally, when listening to DD or dynamic driver earbuds or headphones, I can hear the driver fatigue. So when a lot of sounds are happening or it's a very clustered mix, I can really hear that driver struggling to keep up. Now, on the Orchestra Lites, because you have 8 individual tiny little balanced armature speakers that are able to react very quickly, There is a lot of detail to be had. I really feel this in certain songs. I've included a link to the Spotify playlist that I use to test headphones below. There's Torture Me by 100 gecs on that playlist. I can really hear all of the detail, especially in the low end. All of the synths on the high end sound really crispy and great. What that translates to in-game is when it gets hectic, I find myself still being able to pick up the hint of an audio cue, a footstep above me, a reload sound. And overall, the mix doesn't become overwhelming because it never gets crowded. Now, the main reason I'm making this video is I see a lot of people spending upwards of $300 on headsets that feature a lot of gamer or marketing features. Built-in 7.1 surround sound that's not actually 7.1 surround sound because it's just a stereo headset. Game DACs that offer high-fidelity certified sound, all of these marketing ploys. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're quality headsets, and the fact that they're wireless is incredibly convenient. So if that matters to you, these are not the earbuds for you. For me, I wanted to spend my money on something that was going to get me the most fidelity and the most detail. So I had the best chance of hearing footsteps in game, and I had the most detailed bass to build audio tunes off of. Don't get me wrong, the Truthear Zeros are still insane for the $50. I will link those down below. That's what I would recommend at a budget level. And in some ways, they sound better than the Orchestra Lites. They have more bass body, so the sensation that bass is rumbling me is higher on the Truthear Zeros. But again, the Orchestra Lites have so much detail. The best analogy I can come up with is it was like switching from a 1080p monitor on the Zeros to a 1440 or maybe even 4K monitor on the Orchestra Lites. In game, especially on the low end, the bass end, I'm hearing things that I have never heard in game. And in certain songs, the detail that I'm hearing in some of the bass is leading me to hear parts of the song that I've never heard before. You can't do that on the Truthear Zeros because it's limited to 2 drivers. On electronic music in busy games like Battle Royales, all 8 balanced armatures in the Orchestra Lites really shine. The price point is pretty steep at $250, but these plus an AT2020 USB microphone still equal around the price that people are spending on Nova Pro Wireless, and I guarantee you these sound leaps and bounds ahead of those. I'm gonna quote Critical here, why half-ass one thing when you can whole-ass both things? Why get a gamer headset with a questionable mic, with wireless and a bunch of features that you don't really need that you're paying for, when you can whole-ass 2 things? You can buy a great high-quality set of IEMs that are very high resolution, high detail. They look great, they're light, they don't ruin your hair, even though I don't have any, and you can get a quality cardioid or condenser desktop mic for a good price and have 2 high-quality audio devices instead of 1 mid device. A couple things to note about these Orchestra Lites, especially because they're very expensive before you buy them. They are very, very large earbuds. So if you have small ears, they might not be the most comfortable. The first week I had these, I really had to kind of play around and get them to fit comfortably. They hurt my ears a little bit, and I had to play around with the tips. I've linked the aftermarket ones I've bought down below in order to make them really comfortable. They're also not a vented IEM, so that means that this earbud is one whole piece, and when it fits in your ear, it's gonna fit in like an earplug. So if you're sensitive to ear pressure, I do not recommend these. This video is actually going live on my 3rd anniversary of streaming over on Twitch, twitch.tv/art_is_war, and to celebrate this video, as well as my 3 years on Twitch, I'm going to be giving away a set of Kiwi Ears Orchestra Lites on the channel, so make sure you drop a follow there, exclamation point giveaway in the chat for all the details. Make sure you like the video, comment down below if you want to see some more cheaper options and what the price point y'all are really looking for is. Subscribe, click the bell so you know when I upload another one, and until the next video, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.